Hey everyone, it's Random Noob, and today I'm doing a map review on the new Siege map, Shattered Desert. I'm kind of just going to run through it and talk about some cool things about the map and show it off a little bit. This is in-game on PTS. PTS just went live, and I'm making the video right now. So this is kind of my first run-through of the map, and honestly, I'm loving it so far. It just looks really cool. I got Beanie and Kresnik here. I'm spectating them. That's kind of how I'm in here. One thing I really like is this midpoint, though. Is these foxes with the little heart shape thing is really cool. I think it's pretty awesome with like the rocks floating in the air and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna talk about like what champions we think are gonna be good on this map, like stuff like that. Just like my first opinion of it. Now, so let's just look from starting from one side and see kind of how the map looks from the start. Like if you're going out of spawn. I did notice that tree right there in the pictures is the actual spawn room. I was kind of wondering what that was. So both sides are like this when you were to leave spawn. It looks like, to me, the spawn doors are going to be kind of OP. Kind of like how it is on like Ascension Peak or Ice Mines, where the spawn doors you're going to be able to go back and forth of and kind of shoot the cap. Because like if you're leaving the spawn door, right? I guess they have that mound right there. That's kind of good. Maybe. I guess they did kind of think of that. They definitely are starting to think of that in the new maps. Like Warder's Gate, they tried to block the spawners. I guess this one right here. No, yeah, you really can't see the point. That's pretty good setup for me, actually. First glance, it looked pretty bad, but maybe this one you can kind of peek out of. But you don't really have any covers, so once you have to push out. I don't know how these little mounds are going to affect gameplay. I'm kind of interested of that. In terms of how this starting area looks, I think it's got the typical pillar where a tank can sit and hide and defend from. And this one as well. This is kind of a little neat little thing. I don't think you can stand up here. I'm not actually a character. I'm in a free roam because I feel like I can get around the map a lot easier. But it does look like it might be offensive favor just because of how the setup is. There is a little bit of cover like this rock, but it's not a lot. So I'm assuming offense is going to have a pretty huge advantage once the carts get really close, because the tank can sit right here, you know, behind, I guess, when the carts move again. Let's see. If the carts move again, where are people going to stand, really? So I guess I'll show you guys the cart path first so we can kind of look at this. So here's the midpoint. It goes this way, comes through here, goes left into this little tunnel area, which will be pretty interesting. I think there'll be some cool fights in here. And that'll push through towards the end right there. So I think tanks will probably, like healers will probably stay back here because I don't think the flank route goes around. Yeah, the flank route doesn't go around. So healers will be able to sit here and be pretty safe and get heals off to their tanks that are pushing the cart. There's a lot, and it's going to be hard for them to get flanked, really. Like an enemy flank's going to have to go all the way around here, come through here, come around this way. It's just, if you're playing D, you can't waste that much valuable time. So I think in terms of attacking, this seems like a very, very attacking, like, heavy map. As long as you can kind of keep them in spawn, right? Like, if you can control their team and force them to come out of these four gates and hold these positions, I feel like attacking is going to have a very, very huge advantage. Like, there's some pretty long side angles here. Something like this from over here, you can shoot the cap from all the way over here. Like, that's pretty advantageous angle for an attacker. Or there's not many places for the D to stand. I mean, yeah, they could stand right here, but look at all these angs that I'm getting shot from. So just looking at the starting point, it looks very, very attacker heavy. One thing I am noticing about this map is these flank routes are freaking huge. Like, this map is massive, guys. Like, coming from this side, all the, like, look at how big that area is. Like, no maps are like that. This is so unique in that respect. Also, the blue fire. The blue fire is pretty cool. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later because the pattern is quite interesting. Hey, Kresnik. He's running Space Jam 5. That's why he's so high. But anyways, like, look at these flank routes. Like, they are so big. And just going from one side of the map to the other is very massive. I don't know how that's going to affect gameplay with the map being this big. Like, characters that maneuver around a map really fast, like Maeve with Prowl or Eevee, just things that move quick are going to be in high resource in this because just how big it is. Like, if one team sets up on this side of the map and you're way over there on the other side, like, it's going to be hard to, you know, get on a healer or get on someone when they're really far away from you, unless you have a ton of mobility. I guess Koga would be a good one as well. Koga does seem like it'll be pretty good on this map. Yeah, there's nothing to climb. There's no high ground or anything, which might be an advantage to him, actually. But, I guess there's a little high ground here, but, like, what is he going to sit up here at Pip? But just anything that has a lot of mobility and can get across a map is going to be really good. So back to this fire element they added. I really like the idea of it. There's no wall anymore. I don't know what's going to happen if you con ult into this yet. Like I said, this is my first thoughts on the first run through of the map. I've never even played on it. I just wanted to take a look and run through it and show you guys as well. But this blue fire, so like I said, I don't really know exactly how it works, but like the pattern is pretty cool. I like the pattern. One thing I don't like is it kind of seems like it almost ends like it's like a straight line where it ends, where I wish it was kind of like flowed through the sand, if you guys know what I mean. It kind of like looked a little bit less janky, I guess I could say. But the pattern does look really cool. And like obviously like these bones and stuff gives the map a really good feel. Oh, there's a wall right here. I can't even go any further. Like the definite feel of the map I'm getting is really cool. Like looking at these tops of these rocks and stuff. I think that looks awesome. I think visually this map, I would give it, you know, an A+. Looking through it, like there's a lot of really cool things. Like I said, these foxes, these little, you know, I guess it's like a moon or something, like little moon things. I don't know, whatever those are. Those are cool too. It looks really good. And these flowers, like, I mean, they don't look that good when you look up to them, but like far away, they just blend in with the map really nicely with the trees and stuff. Obviously, like stuff's not gonna look insane in Paladins, right? It's not trying to be like a visually stunning game. It's more about the gameplay. But really, I really like the feel of the map running through it. It's got enough ambient things like these flowers and stuff to make it feel like real. The fox heads and stuff, it's kind of cute. In terms of gameplay, just running through it, like I said a little bit, I think it's going to be really good for healers. I think healers are going to have fun on this map. There's a lot of long angles where you can't really get pushed by a damage or a tank. Like, you should be able to get heals off in pretty safe positions, because I don't think it's going to be a big sniper map. These hallways and stuff are so small in some areas that snipers are probably going to be bad, even though that there are really long angles. So I think champions that have, you know, a wide variety of attacks are going to be really good. Maybe Xin, because some of these small corners, people are going to be grouping up, and you can get some good Yomis. And is there anything else I can think of that's really good against stacking? Dredge. This might be a really good Dredge map, even though the angles are really long. So like a Cassie or Leon can get a lot of poke on you. I think you'll still be able to, you know, shred people that are sitting in these areas like tanks and stuff like that. So now we talked about the push. Let's talk about the mid cap a little bit. The most important part of the game, the use, as they say. In terms of like a tank, like a point tank who would sit on the cap, I think there's a lot of places you can go. Like if, let's say my healer, where would my healers sit, do you think? Probably around here somewhere. The tank has a lot of options, really. They can fall back behind this. Like these statues will give tanks a lot of openings, I think, because they could also fall back here. And okay, what is this little thing? All right, okay, there's so many like little pathways on this map. You can come through here. It's a little. I think point tanks will be pretty solid on this map. There's definitely a lot of places to come back to. Like if this statue gets, you know, too heated, you could always come back here and play around your healer if they're playing on this side of the map, which you likely would, because if you think about how the point's going to be coming, it's the point will probably come this way. So as a healer and a tank, you probably want to be playing around this side of the map. I'm going to see, like, when this map gets played in a competitive, I think this side of the map will be used like very little. As you get closer to their side, it'll be used more, obviously, because the cart's coming through this side. But I think in general, this quarter of the map will be used very, very little, and I think flanks will be, you know, pretty valuable through here just because not many people will be over here. It seems like healer in general is not as safe over here as well. There really isn't much cover. You know, if someone's going to be flanking, they're going to be flanking through this corridor right here. So, like I said, I think healers will probably stand around here on this side. And you could even come up here and get a decent sight ang to behind the statue into point. Overall, like my first impressions on this point fight, I think it'll be pretty interesting. There's a lot of cover, and there's a lot of like variety in the gameplay, right? These mounds might come into play a little bit. It's just a cool thing Hi-Rez does with all their maps. They definitely take angles into account. Where some game designers, I'm not going to say who or whatever, you guys know if you played other games, like specifically Overwatch. So I guess I did say who, but whatever. They just make maps that look good. They don't think about how it's going to affect the gameplay. Like Hi-Rez went in and like, how is it going to affect the gameplay if I have someone standing up here? It's going to be pretty broken, right? I guess that's an issue I have now that I say that, is there's really no high ground. It's a very flat map, which I guess isn't a bad thing. It's just for me, I think this game works really well with high ground with certain characters, and it's just balanced very well around it. So I would have liked to see that. But I'm okay with a point fight that's a little different, right? It's a little bit higher. Well, I guess, you know how most maps go where like the midpoint's higher than the rest of the map? I guess this one is pretty flat. I'd say it's probably lower than the rest of the map. But I don't know. It's weird because like it's higher than this, but it's lower than this. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. I really want to like play some scrims on this map and kind of dissect it a little bit even more. But I wanted to, you know, throw out a video with my initial thoughts and kind of show you guys around the map a little bit. So overall, like I said, I think the map looks visually great. I think the patterns and stuff look awesome with the teal or whatever. The colors work really well together with this reddish brown and this bluish teal, light blue color. I think it looks really great. In terms of gameplay, I think it's going to be a little big. I think some areas of the map will be unused, if I had to guess. But I think it's interesting because it'll change up the game a little bit. There's not any maps like this where there's flank routes just everywhere, and flanks can just maybe get behind healers in so many different ways. So it could change up gameplay quite a bit. Like, for example, like I could see a full team, like I was saying, they didn't use, like, I don't think people are going to use this side of the map. Like, what if a full team wants to take you by surprise and they just mount up all the way around here? And you're just like, where are they? Where are they? Because they could be a bunch of different places. And they come all the way around here and, you know, get behind on your healer. Where I said the healer is probably going to be playing on this side. So who knows? I don't know. Just a thought. So overall, I think it's a very, very interesting and new map. And I think it'll be really fun and competitive. But yeah, that's it for my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next vid. Peace.